Okay, so August 2017, Steel Vengeance was leaked like a few days before the official announcement. That's great and all. Stupid Planet Coaster leaked it, of course. Then you have the official announcement. People like, oh my god, it's the best coaster ever, when they haven't even actually ridden it. Yeah, I think most people had this as their number one before it even came out. I mean, I was subject to this. I was like, yeah, it's going to be the best ride in the park. Fast forward to May 15th, I ride this in the rain twice. Once very front, once very back. And, yeah, it was good. It was good. We're fine. I mean, I like it. But it's not my favorite ride in the park. No, I'm not a Millennium Force fanboy. No, that's not even, no. That's like number 4 in the park. No, this is number 2. Maverick is better. Just, come on. Alright, let's just talk about the ride experience before I go on to a rant. Based on my experience, you get to, like, actually pick your row, which is nice. I guess some other people didn't. I don't know why. Throughout the queue, it's like kind of like a cage. I mean, you get really close to the structure, which makes up for, you feel like you're an inmate for liking Millennium Force. They're like, we'll teach you. And then you're going to go into these 2 little bunny hops after turning right out of the station. Go up this lift hill, which, like, drowns all conversation. Yeah, you thought, like, the Twisted Timbers lift hill was loud? LOL. No. Okay, at the top, you'll crest and go into this drop. It's a good drop. I mean, it's probably worth mentioning now that Steel Vengeance breaks, like, every possible record. Like, Steel Vengeance, or Cedar Point was just like, New Texas Giant breaks all the hybrid records. Yeah, no, it doesn't anymore. And yeah, they took every record. They were like, okay, boom, broken. And even records that like weren't previously like officially held, like fastest airtime moment. Like, dude, that's not really a record. Anyway, you're gonna go into this drop, and it's a good drop. I mean, I prefer the like Twisted Cyclone drop, Fury drop, Lightning Rod drop a little bit more. In the back, it's really good, but my point is, it doesn't feel like it's that vertical. It just feels like a normal drop. That's it's good. Then you're gonna go to this little ejector bunny hop. It's all right, not that great. You're gonna go into this floater hill, and it's like the first element on this ride I actually really like. It's a fun element, and it provides some nice diversity to what the usual RMC does. Like really tight elements. So it's cool. Then you go into this weird dumb element. I didn't really like this. Like I didn't get that much airtime, and I felt like, I don't know, is it a wave turn or an airtime hill? Like, make up your mind. Yeah, following that, you'll go into this ejector hill, which is fine, into this first inversion, and I really like this first inversion because, like, you twist, and then it just keeps going. So you only go upside down once, but I like this. It's good. You're going to go to this overbank, your second inversion. Your second inversion is good. It's a 0G stall, or half stall, rather. You kind of, like, twist, and then you twist back. Yeah. There's also one at Wicked Cyclone. It's the only one of its kind. There's kind of one on Outlaw Run. They don't call it one, but it's basically what it is on Outlaw Run. So if you've ridden Wicked Cyclone or Outlaw Run, you'll know what this feels like. I prefer the one on Wicked Cyclone, though, because you have more momentum going into it. This is kind of slow. Then you're going to go into this little ejector hill. Alright, in case you haven't noticed by now, there's a lot of airtime. Then you're going to go into the mid-course brake run. So when I rode it, I didn't think the mid-course was that bad. It just, like, didn't really kill your speed that much, but they just added trims to it, which, like, great job. Cedar Point. Because the ride wasn't even that intense to begin with, so I don't know why they added trim brakes. You're going to go into this little drop after the mid-course, which is, like, low-key my second favorite part of the ride. This drop is actually better than the first drop. I like it a lot. They're going to go into, like, more airtime, surprise, woohoo. 15 airtime moments or whatever. And then I'm going to go to this, my favorite element on the ride. It's kind of like this weird sideways airtime / wave turn thing. I like it because it provides airtime in, like, every possible, like, position. Like, first you're sideways to the right, and then you finish being sideways to the left. Yeah, and you're out of your seat for most of that time, so it's good. It's good. I like it. However, they just added a trim brake, like, right before it starts, so I don't know if it's, like, still good, but we'll see, I guess. I'm going to go into this overbank, and this is, like, part 2 of the ride. This is my favorite part. If Steel Vengeance was all like this, it'd probably be my favorite roller coaster, like that. I'm going to go to your third inversion. I love the Rocky Mountain construction stalls because they almost feel like surprising because like you're twisting, doing airtime hills, and then bam, boom, inversion, like great hang time and everything, and you're inside of the structure, so there's like insane hand choppers to the like 15th degree. Following that, you're going to go some airtime, some more airtime, some more airtime, and I'm going to keep saying airtime. Now, look, an inversion. You're going to go through this inversion. It's good. It's the 4th inversion. It's actually my favorite inversion on the ride. You get some great hang time. Like I said, you're inside the structure, so it's like you're going around this wooden mess thing, rip RMC, rip Main Street. Then you go to this overbank. Then you're going to go into everyone's favorite thing. It's like these 6 airtime hills. They're good, and they are back-to-back, which I like. However, I prefer the lightning rod quad down. It's way better. This is good, though. It's good. Then the ride ends. The brakes are a little bit hard on you. So, yeah, I like this ride, but it's not as great as everyone makes it out to be. I mean, I prefer Fury, Intimidator 305, Lightning Rod, and don't say it. I prefer Wicked Cyclone. Because Steel Vengeance is really, really good, but it has 2 major flaws. The first flaw is I don't like the first half of the ride. It's just, it's good. And, well, I shouldn't say I don't like it. I don't love it. The whole ride is generally good. I mean, alright, spoiler, it's my number 6 coaster, so it's gonna be good, right? But I almost feel like it kills all the momentum. If they had toned down the mean streak structure a bit instead of adding, I feel like it would have been better almost. Like, if they made an official wave turn, if they added maybe like a stall, or maybe more like, the second half of the ride. If the whole ride was like the second half, it'd be the number 1 coaster in my opinion. But the first half isn't. And I'm not saying this coaster has pacing issues. I look down upon people who say this coaster has pacing issues. It really doesn't. But I have an issue with how the second half is kind of sluggish. Because and I have some backup for this. If you go into Planet Coaster, which is a roller coaster video game, it's kind of like RCT, but like actually good. You can look at the second half of the ride. By the way, it's in the game because Cedar Point had like a thing with Planet Coaster, so you can like build it, and it's cool. It's cool. And it's also official. Like I didn't just build Mean Streak or Steel Vengeance and be like, oh, okay, I built it. This is my version. No, there's an official Steel Vengeance decal in Planet Coaster that you can build, like pre-build. It's free, but you can pre-build it. And the second half is all like 30 miles per hour to like 39 miles per hour. I timed it. It was like, or I didn't time it. I calculated it. It was like 39 miles per hour was like the more or less constant speed throughout the second half, which if you compare that to Twisted Timbers, Lightning Rod, and or Wicked Cyclone, it's actually a little bit slower. So Wicked Cyclone has a maximum speed of around 50 something miles per hour, and it keeps most of that speed because it doesn't have any massive elements. So throughout the second half of Wicked Cyclone, you're actually going a little bit faster than on this. Also on Lightning Rod, you're going a constant speed of around 60, even though at the bottom of the first drop, you're going about 74. So Lightning Rod, Wicked Cyclone, Twisted Timbers all have way better pacing. But I'm not saying this roller coaster is bad. It's really, really, really good. But I don't... everything feels a little bit too drawn out. Because I love these ejector moments are like godly, right? But, before you get ejector moments, first you have to have, like... a little overbank, which isn't intense at all, and maybe like a little, another overbank, which isn't intense at all before you go into the next airtime moment. Whereas on and here's another thing, the airtime isn't as strong as it is on other roller coasters, and this is not due to the time bias. I rode Lightning Rod only 2 days before I rode Steel Vengeance, so it wasn't like, I remember Lightning Rod being amazing. No, I rode it literally 2 days before Steel Vengeance, so I was fresh. And on Lightning Rod, it feels like there's almost like a needle in my seat, and every time I sit down, it's like, oh crap, I ejected. Whereas on Steel Vengeance, I feel like there's a little baby hand under my butt, saying like, come on, go up, you're supposed to get airtime here, come on. And I don't get that on Lightning Rod. On Lightning Rod, like I said, every hill that has airtime, I'm getting ejected and then ejected back into my seat. You don't get ejected back into your seat. Getting thrown back into my seat. Whereas on Steel Vengeance, it's like a bit forward airtime, like, it's like half-assed airtime, and then like slowly return leisurely back to your seat. And I didn't I don't know, it's not that amazing. So yes, it's a good coaster. It's just not the best. And I feel like people are jumping to conclusions because few people have marathon this because it's been down. It suffered a collision. It's been running one train. So I don't think that many people have ridden this, 10, 15, 20 times. A few people have, but not that many. So I think people right now would be like, oh my god, I rode Steel Vengeance, it's the best coaster ever, because of the self-serving bias. If you don't know what the self-serving bias is, it's basically when you expect something to be great or awful, and then you think that thing is great or awful. Basically, you adjust your opinions to fit what you thought it was going to be. yeah. So if you thought Steel Vengeance was going to be the best ride ever, then you get on it, you ride it, and it's the best ride ever, even after one ride. Like, on my first ride on Steel Vengeance, which was in the front, first train, I was like, what just happened? Like, and not in a good way. Like, I was like, that was good, and it was really, really good, and I was so happy I'd ridden it, because it was down for like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh crap, it's gonna be down, I'm not gonna be able to ride this, and then it was up, so I was just really happy I'd ridden it, but the actual ride experience was pretty minimal. Then I rode it again in the back seat, and I was like, oh my god, what happened? Like, what just happened, but in a good way. So yeah, back is definitely where you should sit. Back is the best. Back is good. Yeah, so, yeah, it's good. I kind of want to ride other Rocky Mountain Construction coasters, not because they're amazing, just because I kind of want to see, like, how this compares. Because I've ridden 4 right now, so I've ridden Lightning Rod, Wicked Cyclone, Steel Vengeance, and Twisted Timbers. I have to say, I liked Steel Vengeance more than Twisted Timbers a little bit. I prefer the drop on Twisted Timbers, and I prefer the inversions on on Twisted Timbers. But on Steel Vengeance, it's just overall better, because it's longer. However, I prefer Wicked Cyclone and Lightning Rod. However, I will give one huge plus to Steel Vengeance, and that's that it's a long ride. It's the 11th longest ride, I believe, in the world, the 8th longest in America, I think. I need to check that, because they're constantly, like, changing, because rides open, surprise. And I like how long this ride is. Like, it just keeps going. It's like, I feel like on, like by the brake run, I feel like that could be a ride in itself. The first half could be a ride. In the second half, that's basically Wicked Cyclone. The first half is literally New Texas Giant, and, like, that's it. But Steel Vengeance, it's like, oh, third inversion, I feel like we're going to end soon. Oh, nope, we're going to keep going. Airtime hill, usually there's an airtime hill before the brake run. Nope, 6 more, and I really like that about this ride. So for final grade, I don't know what to give it. Like, I feel like either an A+ or an A with a little star, because I need to ride this again. So I'm not even going to give it a score. I'm just going to be, like, undecided, because I need to ride it again in multiple rows. And partly because of that is because I rode it in the morning in the rain, so it was running a little bit slower, and it was in the morning, so it was running even slower than normal. So it couldn't be, like, a lot more intense than I made it out to be. But based on my experience, based on my 2 rides, this is excluding, like, background knowledge, other rides I've had in the day, based on my single 2 rides in the morning, I don't know, like, maybe A-, A+, I don't know, A something, yeah, it's undecided. I'm gonna ride this as soon as I can in the future, probably not this year, but maybe, like, 2020 or 2019 if I'm lucky. Just to, re-ride it, hopefully. I mean, honestly, I don't feel the need to go all the way to Cedar Point just to ride this. Like, I actually prefer Maverick. It's not my favorite ride in the park. Now, Cedar Point's worth going to because it's Cedar Point. But I feel like since I've already been there twice, I would only want to go if they open something really, really big again. Like, I feel like the best way to go to Cedar Point is when you go every 2 years. Because you would go in 2018 when they opened Steel Vengeance, 2020 when they opened the 2020 attraction, and then etc. Because they open one roughly every 2 years. So I feel like that's the way to go to Cedar Point. But I wouldn't go all the way to Cedar Point just for Steel Vengeance. Like, I prefer Maverick more. A lot. So I would go there for Maverick, actually. But I don't know how to put this. If Cedar Point was just a field, right, with Steel Vengeance in it, I probably wouldn't drive the 13 hour, the 8 or so hours it is for me. I don't know. Anyway, that's my opinion. Pretty long opinion, like a 14-minute opinion. Push your thoughts down below. If you've ridden this, then do you like it as much as everyone else? If you haven't, do you want to ride this? Anyway, my name is Coaster Cupcake, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.